My name is Sungjin Lee and I'm a violist in the quartet. I'm from South Korea. I would like to talk about the role of the viola, especially in the Haydn String Quartet, Opus 64, number 4. So in this string quartet, generally viola play the third of the chord or octave or constant 8 notes. So in general, I would say if you have third, maybe play a little bit more an octave. If you're playing higher, play less. And if you're bottom of the octave, play more. And constant 8 notes. I would say don't be too constant. Don't be too like computer-like. But try to listen the melody or even phrase those 8 notes. So we'll dive into more talking about those phrasing and like the voicing. So in the first measure, first violin play the main melody and then we play only 8 notes. But if we just play normal 8 notes constantly, we're gonna drag the first violin because she is moving. So we have to follow that line to support her line. So make a little phrase to the next measure. And next is measure 7. There's a sforzando. We have to bring it a little bit more than other people because we have an important 7th chord. So this is very special in this. So it's gonna make this part more colorful and more harmonical. Next, in measure 9, violin is playing very cute part. But however, we play very same thing over and over. But since this is the easiest moment in this page, it's easy to get louder. So I have to take extra care playing less so that we can make the violinist more shiny with the piano sound. In measure 10, it sounds like second beat is louder and actually first beat is weaker than other beats. So it could go 1 tan 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 tan. But I actually rather feel the beat more 1, 2, 3, 4. Even though the forte is the second beat, I still try to think 1, 2, 3, 4 so that it doesn't confuse the pulse and general beat in this movement. I would like to suggest some fingerings on measure 14. Here, it seems very simple. However, I'm sure people might use this kind of fingering, but since violin is playing constant 16 notes, it's better to use 1, 3, 2 instead of 2, 4, 3 because third finger has faster and stronger beats, so stronger like strength, so it's easier to articulate. And fourth fingers, generally, it's very late and very weak, so it's gonna delay the 16 notes. It's hard to follow the fast 16 notes from the first violin. So I would suggest this fingering right here and right after in measure 15. Right here, I would play a little bit more since cello, violin, second violin, and I play the long slur. But I do have a moving note, also second violin. But usually, maybe violists want to play a little bit louder than second violin because we are sitting maybe outside, or it's hard to project well in this range. So I would play a little bit more and then more phrase towards the next bar. In measure 18, I would like to suggest some bowings. People tend to go downbeat, down bow, right? And then, however, here, since there are lots of string crossing, down up would be awkward. So usually it's easier if there are many string crossing. Starting up bows is easier. And also, this way, we kind of avoid downbeat stronger every measure, so it makes more phrase, and we can phrase with first violin more easily, and it doesn't sound like choppy, like computer sound like. So here, down, down, up. So I would still phrase more with the upbeat ta 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 tan 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 tan. There will be, this would make first violin to shine more and phrase better. And next, we'll go to 23rd measure. Here, cello and viola start the downbeat together. Here, I know it's downbeat, but still I would try to play a little bit more than piano at the same time, but less than cello, because cello has more lower notes. He's playing octave below, so when I play less than cello, it sounds better and it's easier to play in tune. So let's go to coda. In measure 23, violin start, and then all the lower three strings are playing very long notes. And then there is some interesting part. Viola has like constant scale. It's going up a little bit, but in between there is a two sforzando here. So you need to bring out more on those, and at the same time, first violin plays 16 constant 16 notes with slur, so they tends to phrase it more, so we have to follow that and then catch those 16 notes. So we can't just sforzando the notes, but try to push them with the more air, with more bow. So instead of like accenting, but I would do more with more bow air, bow speed, be a little bit earlier than usual, because it might take time to speak the sound. So imagine you're playing tiny bit earlier than other instruments, then it will sound perfect. So let's move on to the next part. Measure 39, cellist play low, and then violist immediately receive, and then next violinist second violin receive. So you can hear this scale, right? And then viola play a little bit more, and then violinist, and then first violin start. So whatever they do, you're going to copy what they're doing. If cellists start down bow, maybe you can also start with down bow and play around, or even start up bow to make a different character. So you should have a clear idea how to enter this part. So this is up to you, but it's all about like what to do based on the cello part. So now in 53, there is a unison with second violin, viola, cello. Here, interestingly, second violin and viola play like exactly same unison, not even an octave. Cello plays one octave lower, but we do play same note. So in this case, we have to really play in tune. Otherwise, just let second violin play a little less, and then you play tiny bit a little more, so that also you guys can cover the intonation. And later, after 3-4 measures, there's small duet with the second violin. Here, you might need to play a little bit up because we have the downbeat, and first violin play off the beat and try to float on top of our line. So we are going to be the driver. So play more with the chord sound, but still not too loud, but like a main melody. And after measure 65, seems like we come back, but first violin start with the minor, right? Then what we need to do is also bringing out the B flat more. But unlike the first part, if you play like da da da, more like a bright, lighter sound, here I would play a little bit longer stroke and more darker sound. I'm sure this is very flavored strings because very favored strings because it rings better. It's very good sounded on G, so hope you enjoy more dark sound with the B flat. And go to the measure 70 here. Here is more like a viola solo, so it's very instead of be casual, enjoy all those chromatic notes, natural, flat, sharp. And here, suddenly, first violin play forte. Even though we don't have anything, we kind of can help a little bit with more speed of the bow, and then kind of like show that, oh, forte is coming, and a little surprise. In measure 78, here, there's a one technical part. Here, what I just used the fingering is, and then go to first position. The reason why I didn't use, because there are a lot of string crossing, and then we'll be playing super fast, and then if there are a lot of string crossing, it's gonna be even harder to play with the violins, and maybe there's a danger to, get like rush or play wrong notes. So same as before measure 18, same problem, so just try to avoid the string crossing. This way we use lots of second and third fingers so we can make it more articulation and more on time. And also one more thing to talk about regarding the phrasing. Usually when we phrase da da 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, but in this kind of stuff, if you want to phrase more, I would go 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. For example, instead of beating the first beat, I'm starting with the second 16. In this way, I can avoid the beating every single beat, but da 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 more phrase. So not only this part, but everywhere, you instead of thinking 1 2 3 4, sometimes you can think about 2 3 4 1, 2 3 4 1, or even 3 4 1 2, 3 4 1 2. This kind of phrasing. And here in measure 81, so this part, cellist is already playing constant 16 notes, playing same thing. But if you want to play with them, I need to sing same thing again and imagine I'm also playing together. And then play in this way, it's easier to play together. Otherwise, if you count, you can't. It's really hard to play together because he's already phrasing and then you're like interrupting the line. So make sure you do sing together. And very fun part, measure 87 here. Maybe starting from 86, we have nothing, right? long notes, and then 87. It seems like nothing, right? But actually here is very interesting. We're doing this subito forte on second beat. It's not first beat, and like violins are like like surprise, so we can even make them more surprising and give them more stronger foundation on the second beat. So here, you don't even need to be on time too much, but feel the awkwardness, and then so that it can surprise them more, and it's more fun for audience too. So this is like surprising moment that you guys can enjoy. At the end, this is second measure to the end. Finally, we get the part. So, isn't that so cute? But you don't want, you want to be heard this part, right? So ask them, maybe other parts who's playing same note of again and again. Tell them to play less, and you can maybe use more dropping finger. Make it more clear. Or even sometimes you can use harmonics too, but this one you might have to think about the intonation because it's a little bit lower, so you have to agree with other groups to make it more cute. So I think this is all about the first movement.